Welcome. Thank you for stopping by and choosing to listen to this message for today. I want you to go ahead and look at these two cards before you. You have the Ten of Pentacles as well as the Page of Wands, and they're both in reverse. Now, these two cards represent the underlining energy that runs throughout your heart, mind, body, and dare I say your spirit. Whether you are aware of this or not, this energy may still exist for you for the month of December 2024, as well as the first week of January 2025. Now, if you find yourself not able to connect right away to these two cards, that's okay. I am here to clarify that for you. My name is Kimberly, and this is from Loved Ones Tarot, and this is for all my Capricorns for, again, the month of December 2024, as well as the first week of January 2025. When I look at these two cards, for the underlining energy, again, I get the sense the overall energy is of a deep helplessness, powerlessness. And the powerlessness comes from not being able to see a way out, to see your way out of a conflict, of a separation, a breakup, a divorce, or an argument, or a mistake that you may have committed or someone else may have committed. I just see you not seeing a way out in the near future. So you're just stuck. Okay, and because you're stuck, there may be some tension, some conflict, just some bad energy or negativity within your home, within your relationship, within your family. Okay, and that is the underlining energy for December. If you connected, then this reading is for you. And if you still are not sure, please keep watching so I can give you a deeper understanding. Within your emotional state, how you're feeling, what's going on in your heart in December, you have the Ace of Cups in reverse as well as the Six of Wands. So again, it relates to the underlying energy of a broken home or conflict within the home or in a relationship or even a friendship. There is a loss of a desire to connect on a deeper level with a certain someone or just other people. Within your heart, there lacks a desire to connect in a deeper meaning, a deeper way, or in a positive, healthy way. So there could be some resentment. You could have a hurt ego, right? Or which stems from resentment and stems from you losing perhaps in a conflict, or always becoming the bad guy, or maybe you've compromised way too many times, and so this last particular conflict, you don't want to compromise anymore, or now that resentment is too much that you may feel. And this is for some of you, but overall I just see a desire of not wanting to connect in a honest, meaningful, positive way in your mind, in your mental state. Oops, if I could pick it up. You have the Ace of Swords and the Two of Wands in reverse as well. So, and I'll preface, you may hear sounds. I work from home and I have a big family, so it is what it is. I'll try to keep the noise down to a minimum. Anyway, back to your mental state for December. You're lacking clarity, so you may have a decision you're trying to make, and again, that could go back to you trying to be the Page of Wands, beginning a new journey, beginning to see your future and to see the future with other people. but yet you're not on, you can't begin that journey yet. And in your mind, you can't decide what you want to do. So you could have option A or option B or option C, D, E, F, whatever, but you just don't know which one's best for you. You don't have that mental clarity. So there's a blockage within your mind. That's what I see, a blockage within your mind. You don't know what to do. Okay, so it's in alignment with the underlining energy. It's in alignment with your heart. Let's see what your intentions are. So, what you want people to see and believe about you based on your actions. You have the Justice and the Hierophant. You want people to see and believe that you actually know what to do, that you know right from wrong, that you can be fair, that you can be honest, that you can take accountability, that you're a good person, right? You want people to see and believe that you're a good person. So whatever the conflict you're going through, man, even if some of you may have grown distant, you may have grown cold, you may have said some things that you're not proud of, you might have done some things you're not proud of in December or most recently that you're not proud of. But ultimately, you want people to see and believe that you are a good person, that you have morals, that you have an inner compass that leads you in the right direction. What are you actually doing? This represents what we can see you doing in real life. You have the Eight of Wands in reverse, as well as the Lovers in reverse. What you're showing people for real is that you're not capable of accepting the changes within your family. So there may be, or within your relationships, friendships, whatever, you're not capable of accepting something about someone you're in a relationship with. This is for some of you, and because you're not able to accept it, you're refusing to progress the relationship in a positive direction. And for some of you, you're not able to keep the promises that you've made. So in the heart, some of you are focusing on you. You're trying to heal you. You're trying to love yourself. And so for some of you, you just can't keep up with the promises that you've made. Perhaps it takes more of you than you want to actually give to fulfill these promises, certain promises for some of you. So now you've stopped committing to a certain promise. All right. Or you can accept the neglect from other people who made promises to you in a relationship again. So you're not able to accept the changes from them, negative changes or positive changes, whatever causes the neglect of a certain promise that y'all have together. So it's either you're doing it or they're doing it. But either way, you cannot accept the changes that are happening. Does that make sense? For your overall, what you're actually doing and what we can actually see from you. Just inability to accept what is going on in your relationship and the I don't want to say failure, but the breakdown of a promise that's slowly becoming non-existent, or either you're not putting in that effort anymore, or the other person's not putting in the effort, or both of y'all are not. Anyway, moving on. The situation that needs to be addressed according to your loved ones on the other side. You have the Fool and the Queen of Swords. So the situation that needs to be addressed, you're going to have to, it looks like you're needing a mastery of communication, or you're going to have to work on it. Before I say more, let me pull one more for you. Let me pull one more. I'm just drawing one more card. Anything else for the current situation for Capricorns? the Sun. The Queen and the Sun. Okay, for some of you, quite literally, if you look at the image of the Sun, there is a child. So the conflict involved could be surrounding a parent and a child, or someone who is more mature or a little bit older, and someone a little bit younger and immature. So it looks like you're trying to communicate with someone who is just not operating at the same wavelength that you are, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, excuse me. But also you're trying to define or figure out a way, because you do in your underlining energy, you're trying to be the page, which is someone who can see a brighter future for themselves and for other people. In your current situation, you're trying to figure out a way of how to bring back a sense of optimism, taking that leap of faith for whatever may happen. So even if you know the journey that you're on has been a little bit rocky, you've been facing some obstacles and setbacks and disappointments, you're still wanting to figure out a way to keep going on this journey with the hope and the faith that things will work out as they should, even though you don't know. So not only that, you also want to be able to feel secure, feel safe within your capabilities of making a decision, because in your mind you lacked mental clarity on how to make a choice. So you want to have the sense of security of what is right for you, what is the best decision for you going forward that is in the situation, and what can help you with this according to your loved ones on the other side about this situation. Wait, let me get one more for this one, because that one was a little, just one more card. Just humor me for 2 minutes. One more card. Is there anything I left out? Because it seems like there's like multiple different situations. Just one more. The Three of Pentacles. A lack of cohesive, positive teamwork, team effort. There lacks some team effort. Okay, so you are okay. And maybe also too, if we took it literally with the images, let's say you're the Queen of Swords, or at least you're trying to be. There's 3 different players here. You have someone who's the fool, someone who's the child. So a family, and you're trying to get y'all back together because there lacks some teamwork. Nobody's trying to have sympathy and compassion and understanding. Nobody's listening or compromising. And you're trying to be a peacemaker for some of you. That's the situation. Anyway, back to what can help you. The energy you need more of. And I know this sounds crazy. The energy you need more of is the Devil and the Tower in reverse. You know how you're trying to convince, or you want people to see and believe that you are the Hierophant, that you do want justice, you're fair, you're honest, you have morals. Your loved ones on the other side want you to do less of that. I think you're a little too worried about who you're going to offend, and whether or not you're risking your spirit, you're risking the goodness of you, you're risking your sense of morality, but you're not. And your loved ones on the other side want you to know that when you decide to be a little selfish, when you decide to give yourself some self-love, when you decide to step back for a moment, to reassess your options and to make sure that you're protected, that you're healthy, you're safe, it's not It's not morally wrong. Now, this doesn't apply to everyone, especially if children are involved. Of course, you're going to have to be all in. You can't necessarily take a step back, but from other relationships, a partnership, a friendship, it's okay to take a step back. So they want you to not be afraid of the devil, so to speak, of doing wrong, of being bad, because all you're doing is you're preventing the tower. You're preventing the tower from falling. And it's a tower that needs to fall. It's a change that needs to happen. So in your actions and what we can see from you, where you're resisting the inevitable change of a certain relationship or of a promise, excuse me, if you're resisting, it's how can I say this? It's just don't resist it. Don't resist one, being a little selfish. Don't be afraid that you're a bad person. For some of you, because you're not. And because all you're doing, yeah, if you're too afraid to hurt someone or to make it worse or to separate yourself permanently by I mean from the relationship, uh, you're just stalling, and it's going to happen anyway. So it might as well be on your terms. And the energy you need less of. You need less of the Seven of Cups and the Lovers. So again, Lovers, and what we can see from you, the breakdown. You gotta have less fantasies. So if you're someone like, no, 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 I'm not gonna accept the changes. I'm not going to believe what is happening or what needs to happen, especially because in your mind you're indecisive, and you're probably indecisive and you lack mental clarity because you're not looking at the reality, or you don't want to, of what's going on and what needs to happen. So the energy you need less of is stop ignoring the truth of the matter. And if you have fantasies like it's going to work, if you're in a relationship because you believe it's going to work one day or maybe tomorrow, it's going to get better, that's a fantasy. For some of you, there's just some unrealistic expectation that you have about a certain someone that you're connected with on a deeper level. That is just, it's just not going to happen. And so that is the energy you need less of. Less daydreaming, less believing in unrealistic expectations. That was pretty long-winded, but I hope y'all got that. In the near future, regarding this situation, you have the Ace of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. So beautiful. It looks like you're going to have not only that mental clarity that you lacked, or that you will lack in December or January, or both. You're going to have an opportunity for personal development. So that's working on your personal goals, your wants, your needs, desire, as well as your purpose in life, where you fit in this world, where you fit into your relationships. So there's going to come in an opportunity, and it may make you reevaluate what you thought you didn't want. So what you thought you didn't want, because of this opportunity coming in about your self-development, is you're going to want something that you thought you would never want again. Okay, and it's actually going to make you feel better about it. It's going to release something that's been gnawing at you, something that's just been bothering you, that it keeps you up at night, or it's in the back of your mind, you know, that blockage that's in your mind that you're like, oh, why can't I decide what to do? For some of you, it's the case of, should I stay, should I go, or should I forgive, not forgive, should I pay attention more to them and not myself, you know. You're just going to discover something that you didn't want, or that you wanted to give away or walk away from. You're going to want to stay. All right. And for some, that's just for some of you. And for some of you, reality is that because you chose to stay in a particular place, in a particular environment, a particular relationship or situation, because you chose to stay and not leave, opportunity exists within that choice. But again, it's not set in stone. It's not everybody. Um, you have the power to change whatever happens going forward with this information. And I can get one more card, because I get the sense that some of you are like, what? Like what? So let me pick one more card for more clarity and to give you more information. So one more card for Capricorn in the near future. Just one more card. Is there anything else that I'm missing? Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. Okay, sure. Queen of Swords. An opportunity. All right. Okay, and for some of y'all, if you're not going to want what you didn't want before, through your struggle, so for some of you, through your struggle of emotional instability, of not wanting what you have, wanting to leave, distance yourself, wanting to go find something new, something different than what you have, in that wanting, in that lacking, in that emotional instability of that feeling of your ego being hurt, of you being hurt or you being resentful, any negative emotion, because you're going to experience this, you're going to find a new purpose through this experience, and that is in the near future based on this situation at hand. Okay. I hope so. And it's not set in stone. Let me pull one more just in case. Just humor me for 2 minutes. One more. Is there anything else that I'm missing? Just pulling one more card. They're like telling me, no, there's no more. Please, just one more. Just humor me. I'm talking to the spirits. Sorry, y'all. I'm not crazy, I promise. One more. No, they won't let me. They're telling me it's just stop talking. But I hope that helped. I hope y'all understood where it was coming from. Eventually, you will see what I said if it comes into fruition. You'll know what I'm talking about. In this green section, represents your word of advice from your loved ones. On the other side, you have advice number 1, 2, 3. It may not relate or connect to you, so you could relate to 1 or 2 or 3 or none or all. But I do hope you relate to one of these. If I can pick up the cards. You have 3 of Swords, 3 of Wands, 9 of Swords. Notice that you have the 9 of Swords in your near future. So advice number 1 relates to your near future and this situation. So once you're able to process what you went through, so those who they're holding on to negative emotions from from an experience that was painful. So a betrayal, a separation, conflict. If you're holding, once you're able to let go or release those negative emotions and move forward in a like with optimism and a more positive perspective or outlook, you're going to be able to take the next step forward. And some of y'all, you've taken a few steps forward because you've already acknowledged you don't want to stay where you're at. So that's already a couple of steps ahead. So the next step would then be to, okay, what's your decision then? So if you can process your emotions, you can make a plan. And once you make that plan to go forward and you act on it, you're going to be able to release yourself from any anxiety, worry, guilt, shame, whatever keeps you up at night, whatever that's been bothering you or that has created that blocked energy within your mind, within your heart and your spirit and your body, whatever that may be. Once you make a decision and go forward, you're going to feel better. Advice number 2, you have the 7 of Swords in reverse, the Justice, and the 7 of Wands. 7, 7. Remember, you have the Justice card and what you want people to see and believe about you, your intentions. Okay, it looks like if you notice the scale of justice, it's a balance. It has to balance. If you look at this image, the Justice is in the middle of the 7 of Swords in reverse and the 7 of Wands. He's trying to balance these two. So for you, your loved ones on the other side, for some of y'all, you're going to have to decide. Either you want to defend and protect what you value most, or you want to take whatever you can from somebody else. Or for some of y'all, have a clear, get real with whoever you're involved with in a conflict, as in put your swords down and stop thinking about you have to be right or you have to win. So not compromise, but just let your guard down. So you either let your guard down or you keep fighting, because you're valid in whether you do that one, or whether you let your guard down or whether you keep your guard up. You're valid either way. And for some of you, that is what is in your mind, making decisions on what to do next. You're valid either way. Some of y'all needed to hear that. You're valid either way. You put your guard up or you put it down. So just know that, but you can't do both. Okay, you can't do both. One actually weighs heavier than the other. Now, which one weighs heavier? That's up for you to figure out. Which one costs more of you to do, and which one is cost less, which one is more beneficial, which one will leave you less, I don't want to say less scarred, but will make you'll come out the other side a little bit better. But you decide which one's heavier, which one's not. To keep your guard up, keep defending and protecting yourself, or to put put it down, put your swords down and really sit down with whoever that you need to sort things out with. That's up to you. Advice number 3, that was pretty long, sorry. Advice number 3, you have the Empress, the King of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. So a lot of royal energy, a lot of okay. You could either take this quite literally, as in there's a third party involved within your situation. And that's what I got here, right? There looks like it could be 3, because you have the 3 of Pentacles. There's a third person involved in a situation that is causing drama, like they're stirring crap up, either by their rudeness, by their gossiping, by their just picking sides, or instigating. We could take that quite literally for what were the images of three people, and this mostly adults in a house or in a relationship or in a family, and there's just one person that's making things bad. Or it could be you. Are you the king of wands? Are you trying to pick and choose who you would rather want? Who would you rather listen to? Is there two people in your life that you may want to be in a relationship with? And this could be platonic, intimate, familial. It's not necessarily your lover, but it could be. Are you picking and choosing? Whatever it is, your loved ones on the other side want you to know, you need to be looking for the person who's going to help you grow in the most positive way, who can be the most nurturing, who could bring to your life, just they can only add to your life, they can't take away from it. And even if this other person who represents the Queen of Cups, even if they bring so much passion, and that could relate to the devil, if you're too focused on lust or intimacy or attraction or whatever looks better to you, superficial desires, not, so again, it could be with your family, it could be with a friend, it could be with a lover. Don't go for the okay, this is so long-winded. Don't go for the person who's just going to cause more chaos in your life. You don't need it. You don't need that chaos. You really don't. You need someone who can nurture you, who can ground you, make you stable, who can uplift you. And this goes for your soul. So the Empress is a major arcana, and it represents something dealing with your soul. And the Queen of Cups is not. So she's not on a deeper level as the Empress, although she is very deep, to an extent when compared to the other cards in her suit. So in regards to the King, the Page, the Knight of Cups, but she's not as deep as the Empress. So you see that the King is looking at the Empress. Go for the Empress. Go for the one who has the deepest of deepest soul, who can nourish you, nourish your emotions, your mind, okay, you get it. You get it. Some of y'all, who's that for? Y'all get it, okay? Moving on. This is your weekly outlook. It's very specific, so maybe for you or it may not. And then also it's not set in stone, so it could change at any minute, any moment, depending on what you do with this information. Okay, that's it. You have the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. It looks like the first week of December, it looks like you have this feeling of it's not my problem. It's not my problem. Some of y'all will connect with that for the first week. It's just this feeling of like, it's just not, like, it's just too much. It's just too overwhelming. A certain situation or event or responsibility or role that you possess. So within a relationship, something happens in week one that you're just like, oh God, it's just too much. It's too overwhelming. It's not my problem. Yeah. But also, you could be creating distance because it's just the fair thing to do. It's just the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to do, to give away some of your responsibility, to relegate some of your duties, or to give some of your power away. So some of you are very controlling with how things should be. So just giving up some of your control is also in a way bettering a certain situation or a relationship, if that makes sense for some of you. Week number 2, if I can grab it. You have the Queen of Pentacles and the High Priestess. Oh, so you know what I said, for some of y'all are trying to decide between two people, and it could be, I, it does represent, there's women on these cards, but just because it's feminine energy, it doesn't mean it can't also represent a man or whomever. It's just, it represents whomever. For those who are deciding between two people, or two friends, or two family members of who to trust or who to side with or whatever, or to reconnect with, you're just going to be dealing with drama. Not drama, I shouldn't say that. Don't listen to me. I mean, do listen to me. There's just going to be perhaps some conflict for some of you. But for majority of you, if I could say the word, you're just going to make some decisions that you may not be proud of, and this is in regards to your responsibilities, your financial decisions. You're not going to be focused on the right financial obligations, so some mistakes are going to happen in week number 2 because you don't trust your gut. You don't trust your intuition that tells you, oh, that's not right. So that mental block in your mind, right? That mental block I said, that's in your mind, it's going to make you lose your intuition, and you're just going to make the wrong decision. So maybe trust your gut in week number 2. Don't. That's not set in stone. But just keep it in mind. You have the 4 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups. In order to protect yourself, you're going to want to walk away. And that's just, it could be just a feeling, or you literally, quite literally distance yourself and take a minute, take a break, go on vacation, do something. But you're just going to want to protect your well-being, emotional well-being, your mental health, your physical health. You're just going to take a step back in week number 3. Week number 4, you have the 9 of Pentacles and the Emperor in reverse. Some of y'all are going to, you know what's interesting too, the Empress. For some of y'all that are stuck between two people, boop, the Emperor and the Empress. So maybe advice number 3 is for week number 4, okay? Not everybody and not always the case, but just keep that in mind. And it looks like you thought you arrived at a place in life where it's stable. You thought you arrived at a place where you could sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor, but instead something blocks you from what you thought you deserved. So it's either a father figure, it could also be at work, a supervisor, or your responsibilities, but something puts a damper on what you thought was going to happen, that was going to be positive. And also, let me draw one more before I say it. One more card for week number 4 in December. Week number 4. Oh, and some of y'all just don't, it's just, okay, there's just a lot of stuff coming in. Bear with me. Some of you are not making the right financial decisions, which makes sense, right? Because it's the holiday season. You may be wanting to spend, which means maybe the Queen of Pentacles in week number 2. You're not financially responsible. So in week number 4, week number 4, you're going to feel the effects of like, oh, if I overspend or create debt, I'm going to suffer the consequences, because those are the rules. That's the way things go. That is the way economy works. That is the way the government works. That's for some of y'all. All right, moving on. So we have your 5th week. This is the first week of January 2025. You have the Knight of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles. Again, seven. So another seven. I don't know. So let me flip it. Sorry. Because I want you to see the visual because it makes sense in sequential order. You remember how you were trying to be the page in your underlining energy? That you want to start a journey. You want to go on a journey that you create. It's your vision. In January, you've graduated. Whoops. You've graduated from the page into the night. So you are further into your journey of actualizing or doing what you set out to do, right? For a better, brighter future for yourself and for those who are affected by you. You have progressed in a positive direction. But it looks like in January, you're going to be able to pause and look at all that you have done. And it's just a waiting game. It's a waiting game. You invested, you put in the time and effort, okay? And that energy, you put it in, and now it's just a waiting game in January for some of y'all. But it's still positive. It's still positive outcome for January because you started off at the bottom at the very beginning. Oops, yeah, as a page, and then now you're a knight. So you've been promoted. You've progressed. So I hope that gave you some comfort. And for your word of encouragement from your loved ones on the other side, you have the Five of Swords in reverse and the Six of Cups. They want you to know, your loved ones, they want you to know that if you can stop focusing on who's right, who's wrong, if you could stop focusing on you needing to be the winner, your home, remember in the underlining energy, was a unstable home, a broken home, a home full of conflict or tension. If you could put down your swords, you are going to have a happier home. Yes, you will. You will. You will see your partner happy. You will see yourself happy. You will see your children happier because a home needs stability. A home needs tranquility and peace and harmony. So if you commit yourself to putting down your swords, being less defensive, feeling a need to win or be right, for some of y'all, then you will see your home life, your household, your relationships turn around for the better, okay? Trust and believe that. That is your word of encouragement. And if this reading helped y'all, please subscribe or like or just keep coming on back. And with that said, to all my Capricorns, take care.